Hello there, I'm Mark Johnson, and my company Artisan Restoration is here at a home that I designed and built 15, maybe 16 years ago down in southwestern Wisconsin by a little town called Yuba. And our, my customers called us back here to do a couple of different things. Um, Namely, the stain on the outside of the house does not look as good as this sheltered area behind me here in the front porch because this never sees any weather. Um, but um, the rest of the house doesn't look so good. So we've stripped it, and we're going to be doing some chinking repair and also some new stain on it. But inside here, we're putting in some different windows because he wants to add some shading devices. Um, this faces directly east and has a huge wall full of windows here, and it's fading the furniture, fading the logs, and it's causing quite a bit of damage to the ultraviolet light. So anyway, we're working to try and run wires to each of these windows so some electric shades can be put in and controlled from a switch down in the corner here. So I've got a guy in here who's making quite a bit of sawdust and noise right now. We're gonna take a look at that quick, and then we'll look at the outside. So you can kind of see why there's quite a bit of sunlight coming in here. We've got two windows removed up on top. The little triangle windows in the corners were removed. And we took out two trapezoids in the center, and we're just going to have square windows there because it's a lot easier to put a window shade on a nice rectangular window than a triangle. So anyhow, we're cutting up patch of siding off here so we can use it as a chase for the wiring to go from the switch in the corner over here up and across to each of the windows. And then the electrician is going to wire them in after we get the wiring fed through. Over here, we've already stripped this wall, and we're doing repair work, repairing the chinking, which has started to fail in some areas. Right above Tyler here, you can see where it's stretched kind of thin, and this happens because when it's applied here, gravity immediately starts to take over, and there's a tendency for this stuff to slide down here while you're tooling the material, and they obviously forgot to push it back up. Over here, it's just fine, but we're going to be repairing those areas and also doing a bunch of the voids in behind the trim. You can see the wasps that are making homes there, and also getting a lot of Asian beetles coming in there. So here you can see better the two windows that we took out on each side. We took out a triangle, and then we took the trapezoid out in the center, and we're going to put a square window there, and then we're going to put new siding on it. Over in this corner here, you can see we actually had to take out a log there that was really deteriorated from leakage around this light fixture. And there's a material in behind here to help create what we call a drainage plane, because this log, this wall doesn't have full logs on it. It has log siding on it because the entire wall is actually made out of structural steel, which we had to use because of all the extra doors and windows in here. The wall really didn't have any strength left to it. So I had an engineer design a steel framework, and we just put log corners on here and log siding in between. The actual log house, the log cabin, starts back here. These are actually full logs, and they go down to that corner down there, and at that point the house changes to a different type of construction, where we used these structural insulated panels, or SIPs as they're called, to create that wing on that end of the house for the bedrooms and so forth. In order to save on some costs, the owner put steel siding on this corner, or on this end, but the rest of it around the corner is actually log siding. And there's another crew over here that's pressure washing that material so that it can be stained. Sinking failure over on this end hasn't been as great as on the other end of the building, but there are some small spots here and there that have to be addressed. And over on this side faces west, so it gets quite a bit of sunlight, and the stain finish is really beat up, so that's going to get stripped off completely down to hopefully bare wood. Then it'll get 2 coats of stain and a clear coat over the top of it. This side of the house here faces north, so obviously it gets very little sunlight, as you can see right now. It's only about 10 o'clock in the morning, and the sun is completely off to this side. So our stain job is held up really good, except for a couple of spots here and there. So this side is only going to get washed, and then it's going to get clear coated. If there's a place where all of the base coat comes off, then that'll be spot stained. But we don't have to strip this side, thankfully, and we can just get by with a clear coat. So anyhow, the project got started on, on Monday. We've been at it for, this is our 3rd day here now, so we thought we were going to be able to do something with those upper windows, but now we've decided to replace them, and these guys are no longer going to be used, so we'll be back here in a month after the windows come in, and we'll put those in and we'll complete the upper part of the wall. But that's what happens when you don't take care of your stain. We call it the deferred maintenance problem. So anyhow, we'll show you how it turns out after we start putting some new stain on it. It'll be a big difference.